Two-man game, TMG, get the news fast, AMG, game of two boxes. Name two boxers that hit as hard as this. Yeah, we're cutting to the truth, no, there ain't no narrative. Eyes up on the cup this year, hear the stadium erupt this year. For my team, TMG.
Yes! Season 4. We back. We back.
Your mouth is full of sweets, Dad.
We back. We back.
We're back.
Boo boo bang bang bang. What's a fecky?
Back
So
for
2020?
another season.
2021, 2022, now 2023. They renewed us. So yeah.
Look at this Houston guy.
3-4 Houston. You see the name in the back. You know what time it is.
You got a lot in common with that guy.
Hakeem the Great. Hakeem the Dream.
How was your time in Houston anyway? You see James Harden?
I wish I did.
You could have told him to stop with that trade request.
My boys, Stephen and that, they saw James Harden. I think because they were there like 2 weeks before we were. And
He must love Houston then.
They got their man a bottle. So all the man that had tables, James Harden. I think this was on 4th of July, yeah, something like that.
Oh, you got everyone a bottle in the club?
So everyone that has a table, free bottle on me.
Hey!
I'm telling guys.
You wouldn't even know that he's struggling. You wouldn't even know he's struggling to get out of every situation.
Telling guys, buy your tables when you go out.
And buy tables, he can get another bottle. So, hey, I was gonna ask. This is not related to the podcast. But so if you go to America and you don't have a table, what are you doing?
Depends what type of motive it is, but you can still have a good time.
Cool.
I mean, the table doesn't make you. You make the table.
Yeah, whatever. Cyber late. If you wanted to know more about Melo's escapades in the US,
Follow me.
he didn't even make it coincide with Spence Crawford. The fact that he's been talking about, it didn't even coincide with it.
It's unfortunate.
Could have gone there, been the correspondent.
Could have been, but sometimes you gotta take a break. It's a long season. I coach every weekend, play every weekend. It's a long season, man.
Long season.
From like what?
It's good you rested.
August, September to July, or basically the end of June. This season I found I shut it down when the season finished. Maybe 2 weeks after I shut it down. Then from like late May, early June, take June off, come back mid-July or late July, and then take it from there.
Recovery, boy. Recovery.
Yeah.
Talking about Spence Crawford. You did a little breakdown.
Yes.
Talking about your head and your heart.
To and fro.
To and fro. Well, the fisherman caught the fish. Whatever Crawford calls himself. He caught the fish. He caught the fish.
Bud the fisherman.
Bud
The
caught the
fisherman
fish. Give me some breakdown of that performance.
One of the greatest ever performances, and that's not exaggeration or hyperbole, I've ever seen at the highest level, where two combatants come into the fight are supposed to be evenly matched. He completely dissected, surgical work, took apart Errol Spence. Still my favourite fighter because I'm loyal, but he just took him to task. I mean, and he put a stamp on his career where people doubted him. To extent like me, I never doubted his talent for sure. Power in both hands, could defend, good offense, good defense, counter puncher, extraordinaire, knockout power in both hands, switch hitter. There's not much he can't do. But his resume, there's always question marks over it. I never really seen him in with anybody of Spence's level that's in their primes. But what I would say,
You wouldn't sell Colbert?
Colbert wasn't in his prime, and neither was Sean Porter. They were from far removed from
Well, how about when they fought Spence? Were they in their
when
prime?
Brook fought Spence, he was more closer to his prime than he was. I think Brook. I was reading the sign, watching the sign, and the guy said that Brook was at his prime when he fought Sean Porter. I think that was Brook's best ever night, and he hasn't reached his highs.
Well, he fought Golovkin like an idiot. Well,
Yeah.
well, not like an idiot, but valiantly, people will say, valiantly broke his face.
A valiant fool, a courageous fool. I mean, got paid accordingly, handsome probably, but for his career management, because I say that the English are too brave for their own good. Americans will do stuff like that. They'll manage their career a bit more. There's no really, maybe I don't know. The money just made that much more sense. I can't remember the breakdown.
It's a face Golovkin.
But that ruined his career. I mean, because Carl Brook was one of the best welterweights at the time, arguably the best at the time. And him and Spence fight was competitive up until that 9th round. If he didn't fight Golovkin, who knows? Could have got over the hill.
Back to Bud. Going in on Bud's resume.
Yeah. Before that, what? Gamboa. Really, there wasn't really that many great names. Even still, Errol Spence is like the one marquee name. That's why even Canelo, because talks about them fighting.
Yeah, I don't think he's fighting Canelo.
And Canelo said, you only beat one guy in his prime, which is Spence, and people can say that if they want to. Amir Khan, he has good names like for their careers, but at the time they fought him, time is everything. They were nowhere near it. But yeah,
Canelo fought Amir Khan.
Yeah, that was a mismatch. Well, you know how I thought about Canelo.
I think, to be fair, I was looking back at Canelo's resume. Side note. I think Billy Joe actually gave him a very good fight. Saunders gave him a very good fight. It's only when Canelo has another level, so it broke his face. And it did break his face.
Billy Saunders was competitive. Yeah.
Alex Smith was poor.
Strategies they still had it in Canelo's favour, as they always do. Unless you're undeniably beating him.
He was beating him though. If I was to look at the cards, he was beating him. Billy Saunders.
He wasn't.
It was.
Canelo's been the fight at the time of the knockout. I can't remember.
No. From watching it, I had Billy up.
Yeah, most people from watching it, you could have Billy up, but
I guess on the referee.
Canelo has the judges in his pocket as he always does because he's the major cash cow, which is obviously the annoying thing about boxing. But that's why I'm so happy when Bivol beat him, because before that, if he beat Bivol, as they always do, people say, "Oh, he's better than Mayweather," blah blah blah. That's why even now somehow people are trying to get behind Crawford and say he's better than Mayweather, blah blah blah.
I don't know. I don't even see how that is. Hey man, Crawford, it's a good fight, biggest fight of the last decade. Yeah. That's why people will give him a notoriety and say he's as good as Mayweather. It also shows that the lack of big fights, that this fight was so hyped, this fight was so anticipated, is because we don't get big fights anymore.
We're starting to get them this year. We got Charlo and Canelo. You had.
Do you think Charlo and Canelo, if it was any other year, it's probably the marquee fight?
Yeah, you had Haney and Loma. You had Tang and Ryan. There's some others coming up as well. I can't remember their names off the top of my head, but you have this boxing. It's probably.
But Crawford and Spence was anticipated for longer than all of these fights. The build-up has been since
2017, 5
so
6 years.
It's build-up, and then this was the time, obviously, for the fight to happen, and obviously.
I mean, the major reason why the fight got delayed is because Spence had these car crashes.
I think the injuries have taken a toll on Spence. He looks, to me, watching his face, not even going into these, he looks a bit dull. He looks like he's been affected. His eyes, his gaze, everything about him. He didn't look like he was present. Whereas Crawford is there. He's you can feel Crawford's presence. With Spence, you don't feel his presence.
I mean, Terence Crawford is him, undeniably. And this was Errol's LeBron James Dallas moment, 2011, I believe. This was Crawford's best ever night and Spence's worst ever night. I mean, obviously, a large part of that fact is that Crawford made it Spence's worst ever night. But like you said before the fight, Errol Spence, I don't know, he looked a bit weird, to say the least. And it was just a weird performance from him. I mean, but then again, like, the stuff that Errol Spence doesn't do well, Crawford would, take, pull apart and pick apart. Like, his head movement's poor. For all the fundamentals he doesn't move his head enough. He lunges in, it's a chance to counter, poor head movement, chance to counter. He lunges in, feet are not the greatest. And then obviously he goes to tap the body, so when you tap the body, you tend to expose your face. But one thing he always used to do when he punches, he brings his hands up to cover his face. This time he brings his hands low. He's just exposing too many things for Crawford to take advantage of. And yeah, maybe the lights were too bright. But yeah, I mean, one thing I was really telling, which I still found weird, the two guys that have been in the ring with him, both of them, Brooke and Brooke Poulter, both said Spence hits harder. And after the fight with the interview with Stephen A. Smith, Crawford said, when he in the second round, Spence hit me flush with a left hook, and he felt it. He was like, his reaction was, is this it? Type of thing. As if he just walked through it. And that was very strange to me because I don't know, this for me gives me a little bit more evidence that there's just something was wrong with Spence. Like what? I'm not saying Spence is a one-punch knockout puncher. He's not really. He's more of a funny punch. But for Crawford just to say like, be unfazed completely by being hit flush by Spence, who Porter and Brooker both said hits harder than he does. That's a little bit strange.
Do you think he's just saying that for bravado, or do you genuinely think he?
I don't know.
I didn't. To be fair, I didn't really. Aside from the first rounds, I thought in the first round Spence was more even. Maybe that's because Crawford was trying to find the range, trying to understand the speeds. Like I was like, okay, Spence is in control. He's controlling the center of the ring. Now he's making he's the aggressor. Crawford is responding, Bud is responding. But then after the first round, it was like Bud had said, okay, my game plan. I planned for this. I know what it is. I know the speed of his, and he just absolutely. Took him to toss. The difference I saw was the speed. I think Bud's speed is a different level. Different level of the speed.
And that's the advantage of the small man coming up. You're smaller, so you're actually quicker. Then obviously the guy that's bigger, stronger, blah blah blah. But I mean, Crawford was quicker every turn. Composure was 100,000. His timing, support was elite. Counter punch is elite. But the game plan he approached it with, he came out southpaw. Spence not used to fighting many southpaws. And that means his power hand is coming over Spence's jab.
He negated Spence's jab.
Yes, I mean he did. That's the key to unlocking Spence's offense. Spence's offense starts with the jab. He doesn't really have any other entry points. Like he doesn't really throw wild hooks like that per se, or uppercuts. Everything starts with a 1-2. There's a big 1-2 fighter, and he took away his jab. And if you take away his jab, you take away his offense. You hit him with counters. Yes, he got a good chin, but eventually. He's going to feel it. He's not going to want to get hit, so he's going to become reluctant. I mean, like I said, the understanding of distance and range was perfect. And, yeah.
So from that. Okay, and then I wanted to ask you one thing, obviously, as your boxing expert. Battle of the Trainers, how did you think Derek James fared against Bomac?
He got matched. And the thing is, Derek James he was trainer of the year, one of my favourite trainers. He's one of the best trainers out there, but he didn't have his best day at the office. So in terms of preparation, and we were saying the right things during the fight in terms of to come back and counter. But it was too late by then. But the main disparity was the game plan and the preparation for the fight. And a lot of people fall on Derek James's feet. I don't know what happened behind closed doors. Obviously they've activated the rematch clause now, but like Derek James has to look himself in the mirror and has to really macro-analyse where he went wrong, where they went wrong. Apparently Spence has even left him. Apparently, I'm hearing rumours.
Do you think maybe a curse of trainer of the year is that when you're a trainer of the year, a lot of fighters now come to train with you.
Yep.
And then your focus on the fighters in your stable, it reduces.
Of course, yeah. That's a very good point. We also got AJ now, Ryan Garcia, Frank Martin, and I think Jamal Charles. Got five. Five is a good number, but and so obviously Spence was the first. The dedication and attention to detail with Spence. Doesn't have that much time because what?
And it might happen to Bomac now that obviously he's a contender for trainer of the year.
He's more fortunate because he has a team.
Okay.
So he doesn't have to. Individual doesn't have to. He can be more of an overseer. But Crawford, he's kind of like a wonder kid. He can train himself, really and truthfully. Remember for these elite fights, like the way their relationship is like Crawford's like a self motivator, and Bomac tweaks, gives it all 1 and 2s, whereas Derek James is a proper instructor, teacher. Like he's actually guiding step by step by step.
But you can see the impact that Bomac had on the Eubanks fight.
Yeah, Bomac's a top trainer.
That was elite what he did.
But then like I said, it's not just him. He has a team. Yeah, obviously
Mm.
he's the head trainer, so he gets most of the credit. But Derek James mainly himself. Doesn't. But yeah, I mean Eubank, Bomac had a big, profound effects on Eubank against Liam Smith in the second fight. I mean. They come with a solid game plan and execute for the most part.
Do you think Bomac's pending legal issues will impact? It won't impact the rematch. It will delay it a day, or do you think?
Potentially. I don't think he's gonna get sentenced to prison here. I think he's gonna pay a fine and probably banned from the country for a while. I mean, Crawford, especially now, Crawford at the height. Crawford's too powerful. Even if Crawford can't do anything about it, Al Heyman's way too powerful. He'll pull some strings, Bomac will be fine. I mean, you got caught with a gun, they'll probably say, it's not like you fired a gun, you got caught into a crossfire, or a fire, or a shoot off, whatever. He'll be fine. I mean, when I start like that, whatever, man. Yeah, literally, when you're at that level, when you're one of the elites, they pull strings, you pay it off, man. It'll be good. But what was I going to say? Also, as well, the doctors came in and into the rounds at 5 to check on the Spence.
Yeah, because he looked damaged. He was taking punishment, and that's the kind. I've been listening to boxers talk, and especially from you, the worst kind of losses are the ones where you're taking the constant punishment rather than the one knockout punch. When you're taking that constant punishment, you're battling through it. The damage it does in you is
when
much.
When next day, pissing loud or pissing off for the next couple of weeks, can't move. The body is not built to be getting damaged like that. The brain's not built to, or the head's not built to.
And think about it. This is someone that's suffered like how many car accidents? One car accident, flipping his car over. He had another accident apparently with a kid.
I mean, he's just grateful to be alive. He's lucky to be alive. Thank God he is.
And maybe this is this is Spence just cashing out. He might just be cashing out. You don't know. I don't see him fighting for so much for a lot longer after this.
If he loses against the Spence, I think Crawford, I think he retires. And I don't want to blame him. He's done a lot. He's a top fighter. He's going to be a Hall of Famer. Like, he's done a lot. And he came to boxing at 15, relatively late. Not too late, like AJ and that. And relatively late. That's a big difference as well. I also harp on. Crawford started boxing at 7. His grandfather and father were boxers.
So he knows the game.
And he goes wrestling back. He's a lineage of boxing. Not to a level like Mayweather's and that, but he's a lineage of boxing where Spence came into at 15. He was a naughty kid on the street. He had great natural athleticism and stuff. And he's lucky enough to team up with a great trainer, Derek James. But that's 8-year difference. Like I said, when I do my one-to-one to kids and parents, I say, hey, the younger they start, the better. Like I had one new boy today, and obviously, I said, yeah, just basic touches. The more touches they take, the better. That's how they improve. Because that's my full session with the other boy, and they play the same team. And they all seen how he's improving rapidly. And obviously, he's just turned. I think he's second month in football now, probably on 6 to 8 weeks football. He's got good skills, to be fair. Let's do basically start step up and shift and reverse step over and just basic skills, in my opinion. But the more you do with them, intensity, way to move, way to receive the ball, teaching that. Okay, that's not basic stuff like receiving your back foot. That age, not basic, I guess. But playing your head up, not as much. But yeah, for me, as the way players I coach in the level I play at, teaching this basic stuff, improve.
It takes time.